Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. It is almost halfway through November, time for those of us who are going to do a December daily to get started on it, and so that it's ready by December 1st. And real quickly, if you don't know what a December daily is, it is a way of keeping track of I call it scrapbooking for the rest of us. It's not as formal as scrapbooking. You're using a junk journal type format and just keeping track of what you do in in December, because we do so many different things in December than we do, the rest of the year. So this is my December daily from last year. I do have a flip through of this 2022, and it's got that cute little deer on it. This kind of plastic canvas deer. So I do mine from December 1st through December 31st. I do 31 days, and I have a little basket that I throw my ephemera and stuff in that I'm collecting, receipts, so on and so forth. And I usually limit myself to about 10, no more than 15 minutes a day to work on it. But it's my way of getting a little bit of art in, and when things are overwhelming, it's just super fun to sit down and just put a little something together. So if you want to see the flip through of this, I'll link it to the end of this video, but if not, you can always go to my channel homepage, and in the search bar for my channel, put in December dailies. I have lots of videos on December dailies, one where I show all of my December dailies up till that point, and I think it was 8 or 9, because I believe this is like my 10th year doing this, and they always turn out like this chunky, right? So this was last year's. We're done with that, and I try to get done by like the 1st or 2nd of January, because I keep up with it, but sometimes I may not do it for one day. I may do 2 together, so this is the bin. After my December daily was done last year, I went ahead and put together my bin for this year of the stuff I already had. And my theme, I do have themes for my December daily. You don't have to have a theme, but I tend to do that because then it helps me to pick the papers and, whatever I'm going to use, the ephemera I'm going to use. So this year it is vintage Christmas. So there is a video where I put this box together, but since I put this box together, I have added lots to it over the year. Anytime I got something that was vintagey Christmas, I'd throw it in the box. And then last night, I did actually sit down and organize the box a little bit, because I had just been throwing stuff on top, just like my box strips and stuff. See, these are boxes from Shiny Brights and, bauble boxes and whatever. So I wanted these strips. Maybe I'll use them as bookmarks or something like that. I just kind of group like to like. But when I made this box last year, or the beginning of this year, I always have a little box. This is just some kind of little white cardboard box from something. All the little bits that I want to use are in here. So when I go to decorate a page, I'm not running all over my craft room looking for this or that or the other. This plus any receipts, tickets, whatever I get for December is all I'm going to use for this year's December daily. I may use like a few gemstones or something, but I'm not going to be searching for new papers and different things and whatever. This is it right here. I have curated, just picked some stuff that I thought would be cute for a vintage or retro type December daily. So like I said, all the little doodads in here, and some are really vintage, like these little felt things are really vintage, and I've got some super old scraps of vintage wrapping paper, which I will be doing a video in the next day or two about that. But anything that I had in my stash that looked vintage or retro is in here. The same thing with the Washi tapes, I pick colors. I've got the pink, the turquoise, the red, and then some pastel-y kind of things. Things that I thought would be appropriate. So I'm not going to be really getting into all of this stuff because this is what I will be using to decorate the journal with when I get started on it on December 1st. And I will make a couple videos probably in December working on it just to show you, you know, what I'm up to or whatever. But like I said, if you want to do it and you're just not sure what to do, then just check my channel, put in the search box December dailies, and you'll see bunches of videos, even videos from last year, I think working on this one, you know, so on and so forth. These bells came off a package somebody gave me, and I thought they were great on the, I love to tie things on the spine. I love to have stuff sticking out, but that's all my journals, not just my December dailies. So I just want to show you. So I do use book rings. These are 2-inch book rings. The ones that I sell, the naked December dailies that I sell at my craft shows and stuff, I put 1.5-inch rings on it. But I decorate so heavily that mine was getting too big, so I switched them out for 2-inch book rings. If you don't have book rings like this, you can always use ribbon. You can type ribbon in, and if you leave enough ribbon in the holes, as it grows, you can let the ribbon out and then, you know, tie it back up again. But you can get some book rings at Dollar Tree. I just don't know what size, and I know it's not the 2-inch. These ones I got at Office Depot. But really, ideally, I try to use the 1.5-inch. Now, the other thing I've used for most years, not every year, but I would say the majority of my years, are these the covers from the old Reader's Digest books. And these are the older ones, which are about the size of a hand, just a little bit longer. From like a woman's hand, because the newer Reader's Digest are actually quite a bit taller. Now you can use any hardback book you want. You can even do a pamphlet stitch. You don't even have to do a ring bound or wire bound. I don't have the machine to do a wire bound, so I do the ring bound. The reason I like the ring bound is because sometimes you need to move things around, or you add things like a card, you know, a pretty greeting card that somebody sent you and you want to add it in. The book rings are great because they allow you to do that. So I'm going to stick with this style. I haven't picked my cover yet because I've got, I don't know, 50 of these sets of book covers in my closet, and I don't know my focal point yet for the cover, so I haven't picked what color I'm going to use yet, but it will definitely be just the 2 covers from a old Reader's Digest. But whatever book you have, if it's the right size for you, that's great. Now mine, these old Reader's Digest are 5 by 7.5, which I love because it's big enough to add things, but not so big like, you know, like a big art journal or something that you're totally overwhelmed. Because, you know, honestly, sometimes in December, like especially the very beginning of the month, you may not be doing anything that terribly exciting. So what are you going to put in the pages, right? So that's when I try to do like little art projects, like make little Christmas clusters and put them in or something like that. Or just like this collage, because I didn't have something for that day, so I just made a collage. But I usually do write somewhere on the page, you know, what I did that day, even if it's not that interesting. Okay, enough of that. So I'm just going to show you today. Like I said, I don't know my cover. I don't know my focal point. Next time we get together, I will hopefully have that, and we'll be able to show you what I'm going to use. I just wanted to show you real quick. I did cut my pages, and sorry about that noise. I do start out with about 31 pages because, like I said, I do keep this journal for the 1st all the way through the 31st, and so I need to have at least 31 pages, but I will probably add more. So I'm just going to show you kind of what I used. This page here with all these delightful things on it actually came from this vintage little cookbook thingy. I guess this might have been a gift. It's called Holiday Treats, and it's got recipes and stuff, but it's got really cute little pictures, not photos, but pictures in it. So I just took one that had the whole feast, and I'm going to use that as a page. I have the inside of a card here, which has a beautiful sentiment. This was the back side of the card. I just cut it where it said who made the card and everything, so I can use that. This is a picture from a Catholic school book, and it's got baby Jesus and the 3 wise men, and then it's got Mary and Joseph on this page because this is the reason for the season. So I'm going to put baby Jesus over here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is an old, this I think is the other side of this card, this piece, this very vintage card. And these are actually vintage cards that say peace. It's blank on the back, so even though it's cute on the front, although I might add buttons or glitter or something on the front, but then I can always journal on the back. This is another vintage card, but this was actually a postcard, so there was no back to this. This is a Gibson, Gibson greeting card, and made in the United States, so you can tell that that's old. So that pretty card. This looks like the, I think this, wishing you the happiest of holidays, is the inside of this card. And so here's this vintage Santa, and of course it's white on the back, plenty of journaling space and decorating space. This is a little piece of vintage, it's a card, a blank Christmas card. It's got the holly and berries and stuff on it. And then this is the matching envelope. But because they were older, and you will find this a lot with vintage stationery sets because they've been stored somewhere it's humid, this was completely stuck shut. The envelope is completely stuck shut. So what I do is I'll punch my holes on this side, and I just very slightly took off this edge to make it into a pocket. So that's going to be a pocket, and this will be a separate page. The card will be a separate page. Now, when you're doing a ring-bound journal, it's going to be hard to open a card like this. So either you need to just take the front cover off, or perhaps sew or glue it together and make this also a pocket, which I might just do some quick sewing on the 2 sides and make this a pocket as well. And then this, the next couple, these are sheets of paper. It's thicker than paper, but it's not as thick as real, I guess it's mid-weight paper. But these are super retro papers. And these are coming from a company called Flonz, F-L-O-N-Z. And look at these. I know that these are probably copies of vintage wrapping paper. And this isn't all the ones I got. I got a set from Flonz. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they came from Australia. But I ordered them from Etsy, from Flonz, F-L-O-N-Z, on Etsy. So I love those. So doing a vintage December daily, of course I had to have them. Then I've just got some various scrapbook papers. Now the reason I picked these particular papers was because I think that the vibe is very vintagey. And whether I use all these papers, I mean, I cut 2 of this one polka dot. I cut 2 of this polka dot. I don't know if I'll use 2. I cut 2 of this one with the stripes, kind of like candy cane stripes, but with different colors. I just have them, but I may not use them all. I just wanted to make sure I have enough. But like I said, last year I ended up taking pages out because I was adding cards in and other things in for that day. Here's just an envelope with my name on it. Now this envelope was too long for the standard Reader's Digest that I'm going to use. And it was already opened at the top. That's how I opened it. So all I did was cut a little bit off this top here. And if I put the rings in it and put it in the book, it still makes like a kind of little tuck space, you know, that I can use. And if it's something small that day that I want to put in there, I can always just run a very thin little bead of glue there and just make it the regular type pocket. So, you know, envelopes that you've used or that you get your greeting cards in, they're perfect. This is just a very old piece of paper. This is from the company Reminisce, and I know the camera's not going to pick it up, but it's actually flocked. It's green flocked paper. Now, what says retro more than flocking, right? I love this paper, and I had gotten these sheets a couple years ago at the Crop for the Cure at the yard sale. I'd never seen anything like it, but it's just so fuzzy. Then I've just got some more vintage style papers. Look at these cute deers. They're adorable. This is a card. It's I guess it was a coloring card, but you can see I've got holes all in here in different places. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to see if there's some way I can't fix this so that I can use this card this year and maybe cover the holes or just put the correct ones in and just ignore that there's holes there. It doesn't bother me. This is the page, a page from, it's actually the back of the, obviously the table of contents page from one of those I Spy Christmas books. I always buy those I Spy books because their pictures are so great. So when I use this page, I will take another piece of paper or something most likely and cover where it says contents here, or I'll do a piece of artwork or a collage or something to cover the back. So don't be afraid to use a piece of paper if you really like the front and the back's not so great. You can always cover that up with something else. You know, even if you're going to do, this paper's thick enough, I could even do like a gouache wash or something on it and do some artwork. Then for a couple of the pages, I'm going to be using vintage packaging. This is from Hallmark. It is from Invitations, 8 invitations for 60 cents. So you can tell how old that was. And then on the back, oh, that's really cool. On the back it says, this is what the cards must have said inside. Date, time, and place. Well, that would be cool to put something on here like I've done it and then put the date, the time, and the place that was. I didn't even notice that. So packaging, like, you know, like this. This was from that. And then this is also Hallmark. This is from stickers, Hallmark stickers. And again, see on the back, you've got this here. That can be covered up super easily, okay? Here's packaging. I believe these are either, I think this is Target stickers here. That little snowman, I think this was from Target. It doesn't stay. They're American Greeting, but I think I got them from Target. So this backside will be covered up, but I just love this little snowman here and these snowflakes here. And you know, where it says warning, I can always cover that up too. This is just a piece of paper that actually came out of last year. See, it's already got the holes punched in it. This actually came out of last year's book, but it was extra paper I didn't use. Here's another piece. Now this is a thinner piece, a scrap from that I Spy book. And see, it's got two good sides, the bauble side, and then this side has some baubles and some garlands and things. Now these two pages here, look how retro those are. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it is. These are salt and pepper shakers, pictures of salt and pepper shakers. These came out of a... and this is so vintage here, came out of a book on Santa pictures. Here's a recipe card from Betty Crocker Recipe Card Library, and it's got this little snowman cake on it. How vintagey does that look? And then this is a piece of, you know, that stationery that you fold it up and put the little seal on it and then send it. Well, this is a piece of stationery like that. Now, this one is going to be too big for my book. It's too long, so I have to think what I'm going to do. I may just fold the top over and make this like a little top tuck or something, or I may do it this way and just fold the bottom up or something like that. But I think either way, I'm going to not cut it. I think I might try to finagle somehow to have a little pocket on this one. So that's just a piece of vintage stationery. This is from the same little Catholic book that this one came from. And then this is just a piece of scrapbook paper that a girlfriend gave me. And then this is just another piece of scrapbook paper. So I did use a lot of book pages. I used a lot of stationery, packaging, and so on and so forth. What I will do is I will go through and I will just kind of look at the pages. I like to have like big, little, big, you know, maybe medium, then another big, you know, tall one, and then maybe another short one. So I kind of go through that way, and I try to vary the widths of the paper too. These scrapbook papers that I showed you, I did cut to the 5 by 7.5 size, but I might, you know, make pockets on these or fold them in sideways to make a side tuck. I just cut them to the standard size, but that doesn't mean I'm going to use them that way, because there's all kinds of ways to make things interesting. And I think books, the junk journals are more interesting when you have different lengths and different widths of paper in there, not just, you know, 31 sheets of scrapbook paper. For me, I like to use, you know, all these different kinds of papers and used envelopes and so on and so forth. Here's the other thing. For me, because I am a Christian, Christmas is about the birth of Christ. Without Christ in Christmas, what are you celebrating? You know, what? So for me, it's very important that the first page of my December daily be a reminder to me what the season is about. So I don't know if I'm going to use this picture of Christ in the manger or this picture as the first page, but one of these will be the first page. Most likely it will be this one here, where the 3 wise men are worshiping the baby Jesus. Then what I will do is, like I said, I have 31 pages I start with. Some come, some go, whatever. When I put it together, excuse me, I will count to whatever order I put them in to about the 24th page. Then I will put this in, because that would be around where Christmas Eve will be. And I always want to have the nativity on the 24th. Now, when it gets towards the 24th, after I've been working on this for 23 days, I might have to move that to a different part. I might have to move it up. I might have to move it back, depending on what I've added or taken out in front of it. But then that's one of the good things about doing the wire-bound journal or the ring-bound journal, is that you can take things out and move it away. Because, like I said, on the 24th, I always want to have a nativity scene. So being able to move your pages around is, like I said, to me, that's super important. If it's not to you, then you can go ahead and do a different binding. But the other reason I like the ring binding for these is because they expand so much. And if this had gotten any bigger and I thought even the 2 inches were going to be too small, I would tie ribbon on it, because with ribbon you can really go endlessly. So I'm going to get started on that, just putting this together. I'm not going to make you sit through the process of how I put the, order the pages, because quite honestly, what I think I'm going to do, I'm not sure how I have done it in years past, but I think what I'm going to do is just spread these 31 pages on my dining room table, and then just, grab, like I said, big, little, wide, not wide, or narrow, whatever, and put them together that way, making sure that the 1st and the 24th are the nativity scenes. The other thing that I will add is a calendar, and here I had one for 2022, so I want to put a calendar up front. I don't have one at this time that is small enough, But if you want to put a calendar in, you can always print one offline. There's tons of free calendars you can put in, like December 2023, and just get the December calendar, which is what I would like to do, and put that in the front if you want to do that also. So yeah, so even if you don't do, you don't want to memory keep every day, you can put a little booklet in one of your pockets and put all your shopping gift ideas for people, or what you're going to make for dinner, or the cookies you have to make, or, whatever. You can kind of use it as a little planner also if you want to do that. So I'm going to get started on this little guy. You'll be seeing it starting December, at the beginning of December. I will probably show you what I've done, because I will do a little bit. I might, make that pocket, and I will cut some of these pages and definitely put the rings on it and the cover. So by December 1st, I should have all of that done, and, I can show you that. It may not be December 1st itself, but early in December. And then a couple days during the month, I might make a video and let's work on a page, and, I'll just show you how I fill my pages. So if that's something that interests you, if you've never done it before, let me know that you're going to try it this year. I know a lot of you have done this, like myself, for many, many years. It's just, I have a suitcase of these. And like I said, this, I believe, is my 10th year doing it, or this will be my 11th year. I have a suitcase of these super fun books that just have gobs of stuff about Christmas in it, and collages, and, all kinds of stuff. And they are so fun to go back and read, and you'll be like, oh, I forgot we did that. Oh, and one other thing before I let you go. On Christmas Day, every one of my journals on the 25th of December, I've written a list of everything I got for Christmas and who gave it to me. Everything, including all the little gifts I get from my friends at church, everything I got for Christmas that year, I write it down on the 25th. So every year I can go back and look and say, oh yeah, I remember she gave me that, or mom gave me this, or, so on and so forth. So it's super fun to keep track of what you've done, and, if you want to keep a list of what you've given too, you could do that. I don't do that, but you can do that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it inspires you to keep some kind of journal for the month of December, because it is such a fun month, and there's just so much great ephemera, whether it's candy wrappers or greeting cards, wrapping paper, ribbons, bells, you name it. There's tons of stuff, and we do tons of stuff that generates receipts and tickets and, pictures if you want to put your pictures in. And it's just a super fun way, and hopefully, through the years, you have a kick going back and looking at these things, and just remembering that everything that you've done. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and let me know if you're going to give it a try, or if you've done it in the past. Let me know how many years you've done it, because I'd be real interested to see if everyone's crazy like I am. I know a lot of people out there are, but I'm not sure how many people. Anyway, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. Guys, until the next video, I hope every one of you is truly blessed. Bye-bye.